Hey, brother.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Cool.
Okay. I'm going to probably try to mute.
You're probably gonna...
I'm just going to mute while you're talking just because it's probably loud. Is it loud?
Cool.
Is there a lot of background noise?
No, you're not too bad.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
Okay.
So let me just drop the Facebook.
I can't start video, by the way.
Yeah, you might as well.
No. You need to give me rights.
Yeah, okay. Give me a second. Let me just put the post together and share it, and then I'll video you up. Cool.
I'll probably only be able to be on here for about like 20 minutes or so.
No worries. Hey guys, for those of you jumping on, we'll get started here in just a second. Just getting situated with all the Facebook Live shenanigans. Hey, Tori. What's up, man? Okay, got that handled. I gotta give you rights.
Yeah, just make me co-host.
Okay, should be co-host now.
Yep.
I
don't know if they'll really be able to see me, but it's just as good as you can get.
It's okay, left in real time. All right, so folks, today is our Q&A section. Session? That's the word. So we're here to answer your questions, anything you got. Life, liberty, and justice for all.
Life, liberty, and questions. For all. Questions.
Got some questions. This. How funny is that about Colin? That page has been working the whole time for 2 months. So I'm like, come on!
Wait, so it is mobile optimized? It's working?
Yeah, I think what was happening was Libsyn was on there and it was causing it to not.
Oh, wow.
Not like skip the page properly. Because I was like, this is so weird. Why wouldn't it not be optimized?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, easy.
I
like easy.
All right, guys, if you're getting on right now with us, today's the Q&A section. Why do I keep saying section? Session. Let us know what you got for us. We're happy to interact with you, find out what's going on in your life. We've been, man, I don't know about you. My experience of life has been radically altered, and
it's been amazing. Yeah, for sure. There's a difference between reading about knowledge and experiencing knowledge. That's been the biggest shift for me.
Yeah, while these guys come on here, contemplate some questions. I've been running events at my house the last few days with like my inner circle, and it's been incredible. Like the shifts I've already seen in my friends, like McKenna and Sunny, is just like night and day from where they were a week ago.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really, really happy we're doing this because it's helping me really discover it for myself also.
Yeah.
It's helping me with the training tremendously. So this is like really, really, really good.
Yeah, okay. Sure.
Cool. All right. So we do have a question here. Cool. Mary. Hey, Mary. Mary. Mary wants to know, how did you overcome the anger and beating yourself down? Oh, and hello. Hello to you too. Okay, so let's look at your languaging first of all, because that'll give you insights to the kind of experience that you're having and how you're trying to approach this thing. Let me actually put on the speaker view. Let's see if that works better. Cool. So trying to overcome it, okay? There's nothing within you, any characteristic, any biological phenomenon, anything that you're gonna find a way to overcome. Okay, we talk about this a lot, but I'll reiterate it again, is that everything is built like a relationship in your life. So you have a relationship to your health, you have a relationship to your parents, you have a relationship to your finances, you have a relationship to where you live, and you have a relationship to every part of you. So like I have a relationship to my joy, I have a relationship to my sadness, I have a relationship to my anger. And if you start looking at everything like a relationship and you start applying the principles that make relationships functional, by applying those same relationships to the areas of life or to these characteristics that you deem that aren't working for you, you're going to find that it works out the same exact way. Bro, can you click that off?
Yep.
If you spend your time trying to defeat it, it's like trying to defeat a person. It's like you wanna stop trying to overcome it, and you want to start befriending it. And I'll take it even a step further, where so much of the training I see out there, there's even a book that made a lot of splash last year called Ego is Your Enemy. I could not disagree more with those sentiments. I think you want to start looking at even the ego as it's a device within you that serves a purpose. Your anger serves a purpose, right? So when anger is dysfunctional is when it comes out in an unconscious way and it's used for destruction. Mm-hmm. The opposite side of anger is passion. And when it's passion, it has a lot of the same characteristics. Passion makes you very decisive. It makes you very alert, right? And it drives you in a direction very strongly. Anger does that too. But oftentimes we take anger and we make it, we take passion and we make it angry. And then it becomes very destructive. So if you start building a relationship with it, instead of trying to push it away from you, it's like what you resist persists. If you resist your anger, what you get is more anger. When you start like loving on it, it really works. So like, for instance, like let's look at your ego, and everyone's trying to defeat their ego, separate themselves from ego. Your ego is one of the most amazing functions of your entire biological system. It's a thing that keeps you alive. It keeps you breathing. I know it's doing a great job because you're here listening to me talk about your ego. So where most people are trying to defeat the ego, I would say do the exact opposite. Learn to appreciate it. Sit there and be like, oh my God, I love you so much. Thank you for the effortless work you put in. Notice how these mechanisms never ask for anything in return. They just do their job. All your organs you can build a relationship with. They're doing their job. Go in through your entire body and sit there and be like, thank you so much for carrying me effortlessly from one place to another. Thank my heart for beating effortlessly without asking for anything in return. Thank my ego for making sure that it keeps me alive, that I never have to worry about getting hit by a vehicle as conscious thought. All I have to do is just listen to this mechanism that's keeping me alive. Now, at the same token, you want to look at everything in your life and say, hey, what is the strength of this thing? And where's the limitation on it? Because everything that you are and everything that you're operating through is both a strength and a weakness. It lives in the paradox, right? So the angry side, that hot heat of anger is very destructive, can ruin relationships, can have you burn bridges prematurely, all sorts of things. The passion side of it is huge strength. It's just, again, like deducing for yourself and taking the time to investigate where these biological systems are helping you and where they're creating limitations for you. Mostly the things that we believe are unconscious conversations that we've picked up from either society or from television or from other people, and we just haven't really taken the time to investigate. I'm not saying that what I'm telling you is truth. I'm saying that investigate every part of yourself and every area of life that's important to you and find out what the truth is for you. So when I mentioned I've been doing training the last few weeks with my friends about the experiences that we had down in the jungle, what I told them going in is what I always say. Like, nothing I say here is the truth. This is not even significant or important. I'm going to share stuff with you that's going to open up different pathways of possibility for you. And you're going to know something is true when you go like this. Like, you're going to take this breath in of recognition. And what that breath is going to tell you, it's going to feel like popping out from underneath water. Like you've been underwater all this time and you forgot how to breathe, and suddenly you can breathe. And it's and what I offer is that sensation allows you to know that this is your truth. It's your body recognizing truth, and it feels like expansion. Notice that, like an in-breath, when we're like, that breath of life, it's an expansive biological phenomenon, right? When we go, it's contractive. And when we're dealing with something, like when something is painful or we want to push it away, where do we go? Right? Like as if to move the energy away from you, not into you. So when you're listening to any of these things, when you're reading a book, when you're listening to a guru, never take anything at face value. It's like, I don't think any of them, I don't know, people want to convince you of all sorts of things. I'm not that kind of teacher. I don't want you to believe anything I'm saying. I want you to investigate yourself through your own life experience, map it onto yourself, and you tell me what's true for you. And what's true for you might not be true for the person next to you. That's just true for you. So that's kind of how I would pose that. Bro, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, can you just read the question so I make sure that I got it right?
Yeah, she says, how did you overcome the anger and beating yourself down? And P.S., your camera is just a still shot, just so you know.
My camera's what?
It's just a still shot.
Oh, interesting. Hold on. How about now?
Yeah, now you're moving.
Oh, okay, cool. It's probably because I switched to maps mode. So here's what I'll say. Inherent in that question, and for all of you guys that are listening, I just want you to replace the word anger with whatever your mode is. All that's happening is you're shaming and making wrong that which is a part of you. And anytime you shame something, which is the lowest possible vibration that a human being can operate in the part that you're shaming, you're persisting that part. So it's like saying, I love all of me, but I hate my right arm. I'm really ashamed of my. Think like when your parents, for example, were ashamed of you, right? Isn't it one of the worst feelings on the planet? Like, when you did something that you had was so bad, and then all your parents are left with is like, wow, they're just like ashamed of you. Guys probably thinking of the same moment that I am with us and our parents. So the first thing you want to really get clear about is that, like Guy said, every single aspect of you is there to serve. And even anger has kept you alive, has led you to amazing opportunities. You might not appreciate the fact how anger displays itself. That's something to notice. And all there is to do is notice and go, you know what? This reaction doesn't serve my highest purpose at this time. How else could I choose to react right now? Not from a place of shame, but from a place of growth and opportunity. I made a video today about how there are no accidents, right? All it is growth opportunities. So what you're being shown is there's an opportunity for you to view your specific reaction and then choose another reaction that aligns more with who you are, because what's coming out of you is just old programming. There's nothing wrong. It's just you're expanding right now. And so in the expansion, geez, what is happening? In the expansion, in New York City, Times Square, in the expansion, you're going to see where your reactions and abilities are inefficient for that which you sit. Pub mode, you will just allow for more of that to show up. It's like we say like a slap on the wrist, and it's like you get to do it all over again. Mm-hmm. Use it as an opportunity. Stop shaming yourself and choose in that moment. Okay, if I had to redo it all over again, how would I relive that moment? And play that out in your head. Like, actually create that for yourself and allow yourself to experience that, so that the next time a situation like that comes, you get to respond and react the way that you want to react.
Yeah, and I'll just add to that. Look, when we talk about consciousness, right? There's nothing to do about consciousness. It's increasing your awareness and what you're noticing in a specific area of life. So you don't have to look at your entire life and drive yourself crazy, but you can pick something every single week, and run an experiment on yourself and say, oh, okay, I'm going to really, really focus on this week. So I'm going to focus and notice on where anger shows up in my life. Okay. In that noticing, it's what you're doing is you're putting the mind, you're basically what we call the seat of consciousness, the seat of attention in a specific area of life. And you're going to start noticing different things like, oh my God, that's interesting. Like that annoyed me. And And it's not about judging it every single time and going, oh, I'm so wrong. I did that thing again. It's about oh, well, look, that thing happened again, and just noticing it and saying to yourself things like, oh, I'm noticing I'm feeling angry now. Isn't that interesting? Not like, oh, I'm so bad, I just got angry again. Stuff like that, which is what we normally do. So inside that noticing, what you're doing is you're paying attention, and you're going to start noticing different trigger points that make the automation run, that make the reptilian brain activate, and then this automation runs. And the more you become hyper aware of that, the more there's opportunities to be like, oh, look, I'm looking at my programming objectively, And now in that moment, you have a choice. Am I going to let that automation run, which means I pretty much know the results because you've done that a million times already? Or I'm going to be like, oh, you know what? I'm choosing not to respond the way that I normally respond. What else is possible right now? How else could I get to respond? Or how else could I get to communicate right now, right? And a lot of times it's just be like, all right, well, how do I operate from a space of love in this moment? You can create a mantra for yourself, like I give myself permission to be peaceful, and that could be like the new programming that you start putting in every single time that you notice that there's anger there. Now, if you make it wrong, you're activating it and making it stronger. Whatever you're resisting is just going to keep enhancing that experience for yourself, and it's going to keep recreating it over and over and over again in your experience. There is nothing you will accomplish by shaming and guilting yourself. I absolutely guarantee and assure you that that will just keep it in place. Anything else you want to say about that?
No, that was perfect.
Cool, man. Okay, let me look at another question. All right, we got one here. How can we raise our frequency in our genes to be higher or better? So I know that might seem like an abstract question to a lot of people, and a lot of the coaching and training that we're starting to do is actually with super gene activation, cellular remembering, stuff like that. So if you start considering that your DNA, right, has been passed down from wherever our DNA started in whatever form we were in, like that DNA has kept evolving and carried this information forward with you, which means that all the information of all these lifetimes is living inside your DNA, and we don't have access to it. So I started looking at kind of the way that the body operates in the micro to the macro of the universe. And if you actually look, like your atoms, your cells, and everything else looks exactly like what we see above with the stars and the planets and how they move around each other, the way the gravity works. It's all a reflection of one another. So if we start taking that into consideration, if you can have relationships and conversations with celestial bodies from above, you can do the same thing within your body, which means having a relationship to your DNA, have a relationship with your cells, and starting to actually build a relationship and speak to it as if it's an entity.
Bro, I got to bounce, by the way.
And still make those requests. All right, man, you got it. I'll talk to you later.
Love you guys.
All right, bud, have fun. So yeah, it's really just about that. It's like about allowing yourself to get into that mode where you're gonna just start building those relationships, start having those conversations, and ideally, I think the one thing that nobody really wants to let themselves slide on is meditation. And I would offer that you want to meditate both morning and night. They both provide very different access to something. In the morning, you want to be meditating for alignment, and at a time you want to be meditating for activation. So nighttime is a really, really great opportunity for you to kind of like check in with your body, see how it's responding in that day, and then start making a request to both the cells and the DNA and exactly what you want. So, you know, like Ilan and I have been posting pictures of our body and stuff like that. And I guess, if, you know, to the untrained eye, it might seem egotistical, and to some effect, maybe it is. Like, you know, fine, it's cool to have people know that you're in great shape. Ultimately, what I want to show everybody with doing that, number two, I want to get attention on the content that's being written there. And I know people like skin, so they look at it. Number two, the intention is really to have you guys see that the way this is done, like I haven't really changed anything in my routine. I'm eating the same way I was eating 2 years ago. I'm pretty much more or less working out the same, but what I have created is a relationship with my DNA and my cells. And I just started making requests. I'm like, all right, tonight, like if I have pain in part of my body, I'm like, please go and make sure you heal that overnight. If I want a six pack, I tell my body, I'm like, I want a six pack. Like I just ask for what I want, like you would ask from a person in your life, a request, and they just seem to fulfill. I feel the same way about relationship with God, with angels, with extraterrestrial entities, with all of it, whatever you're open to having a relationship with, whatever energy you want to have a relationship with. At your request, you can have those relationships and it will start impacting your life. There are energies all around you that want to support you in your path, especially those that are mostly concerned with what you're truly aligned and passionate about. And if you move confidently in that direction, those energies are extremely favorable to providing opportunities, which are going to look like circumstances that you can choose to have and move you on that path very quickly. So that's what I would say about that. Corey, what is a trick or way to get past limiting beliefs of not deserving to be successful? Great question, Corey. So, look, in our coaching, I often say that the number one disease on the planet is self-worth. Okay. So if you start looking at where we develop this idea that I'm not worthy, and it truly is just an idea, it's not reality. You're worthy of absolutely everything and receiving everything in this world. So for me, it's like the function of what it looks like to develop as a child. If you look at a child, right, a child has no logic. It's a heart-based being till about 7 years old. At about 8 years old, the logic mind kicks in. And when the logic mind kicks in, we start to subconsciously pick up the conversations that are around us, and we start adopting these ideas as our own. And we literally make it as if we've invented these ideas. However, it's just in society, it's in the people around you, all of it, right? You're just picking up on this stuff and just starting to believe this shit. So when the logic brain kicks in, you start picking up on stories of what's the right and the wrong way to be human. Said another way is that we're literally standardizing what it means to be human. So then you start measuring who you've been, all the things you felt, all the actions you took between 1 and 7 years old that you can remember, and you start measuring it against what you are now learning is to be standardized human, and you start looking at that and going, oh, okay, well, that was wrong, I shouldn't have felt that way, I shouldn't have done that, and you start making yourself wrong, and you start shaming yourself, and what that does is it pulls you away from the essence of who you naturally are, and brings you closer to what we're calling this a human being, even though really what it means is you're moving towards a human doing. And you kind of lose this essence, and slowly over time you were like, I need to go find myself. Why? Because that stuff has you lose yourself. So when we start looking at how is it that we're programming the subconscious to believe in our lack of self-worth, where it really starts is with our emotions. So from a really young age, both girls and boys are told not to feel certain things, not to do certain things, all these kind of things. And every time you have an experience that needs to be emotionally expressed and you don't, what you're telling the subconscious part of your brain is, or it's not really your brain, it's just your body. What you're telling this part of yourself is, I'm not worthy of fully experiencing this emotion. And that's where all this starts, is this repetitious pattern of I'm not worthy through the lack of experiencing our emotion. And at the deepest part of yourself, that's what gets programmed in. Then you want to go out there and accomplish something, $1 million, build a business, relationship with your dreams, perfect body, all these different things. You're like, well, I want a six-pack. And then the subconscious part of you goes, well, you're not worthy of receiving that. And I want $1 million. And the subconscious part of you goes, well, you're not worthy of receiving that either. So the mind has one idea about what it wants to create, and the body, where the subconscious lies, is going the exact opposite direction. For those of you guys that know chakra and chakra alignment, it's like having, this part of the chakras go this way, and then this part of the chakra go that way, and you don't have a clear channel from which to receive from. So the energy doesn't flow properly, and you could say God, source, infinite intelligence, whatever you want to call it, literally can't bring that forth through you because you're not a clear channel. It's like a television, like an old television screen where the antennas are in line, so the picture is fuzzy and doesn't manifest itself clearly in your life. So you get like pieces of it, but not the whole picture. If you were in clear alignment, if the antennas were clearly aligned, and that's pretty much what you are, is an antenna that's here to receive, that stuff would come into your life effortlessly and easy. So I could tell you again, like going back to my body example and kind of what I was sharing, is that's why this has become so easy. I'm literally at my high school weight. Best shape of my life. And I could tell you, like, yes, there's things that I do to get there, except every day I go to the gym, it's never a struggle for me. I'm always pulled into action. I never push myself into doing anything. Everything is in complete flow, is completely aligned with what I'm passionate about. It's just, that's what I mean by effortless and easy. It's just being in that flow. I never anymore do anything that I don't absolutely love passionately. I think it's crazy to live a life where you're doing shit for anything else. So hopefully that helps you, Corey. Let me know if that provided you something. Hey, Jessica. Clear fear, deep self-love. All right. Corey, do you have some suggestions or personal insights how to develop a relationship towards money or conflict? What do you mean by conflict? Just distinguish that for me. As far as money is concerned, it's difficult to develop a relationship with anything that occurs as significant or heavy. Like if you've ever tried to, if you have like a relationship with your parents and it occurs to you as like difficult or heavy, how's that going to go? So money, we just add so much fucking meaning to money and so much significance to money, where money is not even a real thing. I mean, let's see. Why is this piece of paper? There's my insurance card. Hopefully it doesn't have no shit's on there. Why is this piece of paper worth more than this piece of paper? By whose measure? What makes one more valuable than the other? Anybody got an answer to that? I want you guys to do a little bit of thinking too. Anybody? Why is one piece of paper more valuable than the other piece of paper? Don't all jump at once. Everyone's just waiting for somebody else to get the answer. All right, anyway, in the interest of time. Perfect. Maura, thank you. The meaning we give it, right? So how do we give things meaning? We assign it a distinction through language. We create agreement, right? We all agree on something, and then it's true. It's the same way that we elect a president. It's the same way that we found out that the earth is not flat, which again, all that stuff is just based on agreement. Every scientific thing, it's all what we agree upon, and then that alters our reality, physically, literally, and then it also alters how we interact with that reality. So if we were looking at it completely objectively, surely the two things I just held up were just two different pieces of paper. One's colored green, one's colored white. However you assign meaning to that green piece of paper is basically the thermostat that you're limited by in terms of your capacity to receive it. So we were just talking about the self-worth thing. It's the same thing. Money's a self-worth thing. Like if your subconscious reprogramming or subconscious programming is I'm not worthy, and then you're like, well, I want a whole bunch of money. Well, inside you don't believe you actually deserve it. So it's really about starting with the emotional feedback system and starting to fully experience everything that you have around money, whether it's anger, whether it's sadness, and letting all that stuff come up so that it can actually transmute itself. And then really just removing all the significance from it, because what we're calling money, what we call it really everything, is a measurement of energy. So the measurement that money is the value that you provide in this world, right? The more value you provide, the more we measure that, the more money you earn as a side effect of that. So really, if you want to increase the wealth that you earn, what you got to work on that's directly correlated to is your personal value. That's why people who stop, educating themselves at 20 years old, that's it. That's the cap on how much you're worth. And people who just go to school and then don't keep working on themselves tend to have kind of more or less a fixed income their whole lives, and six figures becomes a big deal for them. And six figures should be average at best earning. And if you're not earning that, I don't want you to take that's a word be the wrong way. I mean, since I've been a little kid, I've always heard like, oh, I can't wait to make six figures and all that shit. It's like, here we are 20 years later, and that's still the conversation after 20 years of inflation. I think that should be like a bottom rung of a goal for most people, and then work your way up to significantly higher incomes that can create all sorts of opportunity, wealth, and freedom for you. So it's really just starting to disassociate with all the significance that you add to it, and just really get like, okay, well, I want to pull this energy towards me. That means I got to increase my value. That means I got to go have all these experiences that make me more valuable to people, to businesses, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then money is easy. It just flows to you. Yeah. And Tori, obviously, like Tori's a personal client that's working with us for a year. So, we're going to work on that tremendously throughout that process, and really just look at, what are those limiting beliefs, but even more importantly, how is it that you're programmed internally, and how is that contrasting in the desires that you have, and then how to align yourself with the energies that can easily bring forth opportunities in your life that just have money show up that way. Most people think of earning as a very linear process because they believe they live in a universe that's cause and effect. So I'm going to cause some action, and that's the effect, that's going to be money. And to an effect, of course, we could find evidence for that. However, that's a very finite way of having value that we're calling money come to you, when there are so many unknown opportunities to most people on how money can flow to you. And I mean in like the most magical, what people call coincidental type ways that are really not coincidences. When you just align yourself to these energies, it becomes an effortless process to just attract it to you. So you can attract clients to you, you can attract money to you, you can attract experiences to you, you can attract checks to you that you didn't even know you deserve. All that stuff is just sitting in the wings, waiting for you to increase your self-worth so that you can receive. Tori, did that provide you with something? Cool. Awesome. All right, guys. Any other questions here for me? I think we've cleared the box so far. And Tori, I would just, I even posted today about morning routine. I would get if there's something I would tell people to really invest in, is get really rigorous with your morning routine. Get really rigorous with your nighttime routine. Feed your brain and your bioenergy system things that it gets to work on that create clarity in your life. I think it's Abraham Lincoln. There's some analogy about like chopping down trees. And, Abe spends like the whole day like sharpening his axe while the other guy just like takes his axe and starts like nailing the trees. And of course the guy who goes after the trees seems like he's getting more done, but he's doing it with a blunt axe and it's taking him a long time to cut the trees. And then Abe comes out there with like this super sharp axe and just starts swinging and taking down these trees. No time he catches him, and then he's, way ahead of him. That's what morning routine does. That's what meditation does. That's what reading does. That's what disconnecting from technology does late at night and letting the brain kind of get down and then giving it programming before you go to bed to subconsciously reprogram yourself. You guys can choose all of that. You are at the helm of the wheel of your biomechanical system. You get to tell it what it does. So if you take that time, that's like sharpening the axe. That's feeding it stuff that ends up occurring as different experiences, different reactions, different feeling about things. And it's really all about how you feel about stuff. If you feel like shit about stuff, things just don't go well. You feel great. Good things attract you. So it's like you want to think to yourself, okay, well, I got to get on with my day. I got to get on with the day. No, shut the fuck up. Take a few extra hours. Spend time sharpening your axe, which is, giving your brain good things to think about and meditation and slow it down and quiet yourself. And then the rest of your day is so much higher quality. What you would have gotten done in 8 hours, you'll get done in 4, and then you buy 4 hours back of your time. And this is where people don't invest any time, is in the most important thing, which is themselves. Or, very few people are really, truly investing in themselves. And then they go invest in everything else other than themselves. It's like the biggest return on investment you'll get is putting an investment in yourself. That's why you want to coach. That's why you want to be in masterminds all the time. Surround yourself with people who are up to things that you're interested in. All that stuff is just so critically important. Corey is just talking about like that helps him still a little fuzzy on how to line those channels up. And Corey, I imagine it's fuzzy for you because you're trying to understand it with your mind, and this cannot be understood with your mind. The coaching and training that we do is, well, we'll help you with the conscious language because it's all your language lets me know what your inner beliefs are. Ultimately, I can help you with your language, but what really alters state is changing the emotional and vibrational frequency inside the body. And that has to be done experientially. That cannot be done through understanding of the mind. The mind can understand, but the body knows. And until you know this, I make this analogy all the time. It's the difference between understanding how to ride a bike or actually getting on it and knowing what balance feels like. So it needs to be experienced to truly be known. Otherwise, it does kind of remain this like dark area, and that's exactly the type of work that we do. Morris says, reprogramming at night, do you follow specific meditations? Well, I studied Vipassana, so that's a program that they offer for free all over the world. It's a 10-day silent meditation. It's what the last known Buddha did to become Buddha. I don't always practice that. Generally, I just sit in silence. Again, do you follow specific meditations? And maybe you didn't intend it that way, but it's like there's nothing to do when you meditate except sit there silently and then and notice what you notice. Let things come up as they do. Do not judge them, let them go, and just keep coming back to silence. Meditation is like an active practice of doing nothing, basically. and then just allowing that quietness to be there and just noticing what you notice. More than anything more, what I would tell you is notice the sensations that occur in the body and disassociate them from any kind of thought. So like you'll have some sensation, be like, oh, that doesn't feel good. That's a judgment. There's just a sensation. It doesn't mean anything. The truth is there's just sensations in the body. Everything that comes after that, emotions, feelings, thoughts, language, all of that made up. That's all the mind doing that. And the mind is a illusion creating machine, and the illusion it's creating will become your perceived reality. So again, you really, really, really get to choose the illusion. You are sitting in the director's chair. You're picking the set. You're picking the characters. You're picking the storyline. And just like a movie is an illusion that comes to life that we get to see, life is identical. And you're sitting in the director's chair and you get to say. I hope that provides you at least some value or clarity, or that to let go of certain things. Guys, every belief you have is not the truth. It might be your truth right now, and that truth is completely malleable. In 14 years, I've gone from being suicidal and depressed and thinking that there was no reason to live to living a life that I believe I have more wealth than more people who are billionaires. I'm not saying money-wise. I'm saying I live the quality of my life by the people I surround myself, the experiences I get to have, my emotional state, my health, like all of it is in alignment. I call that wealth. Any other questions, guys? And thank you for all the attention and listening. I appreciate that. Any other questions? My pleasure, brother. My pleasure. Okay, cool. Yeah, if there's no other questions, Carrie's saying all in language. I would say some in language. Language is a great way of the way people choose to language things, to know what their subconscious beliefs are. Really, it's all in the subconscious. Let me see. Jessica says, it's normal to get visions of places or people you've never seen before during meditation. I would say absolutely. Whether you're dreaming or you're in deep meditation, there's some essence, you're going to start having DMT experiences. And those DMT experiences could absolutely give you remote viewings, massive insights, release experiences, all sorts of things can happen. So yeah, if you go deep, there's definitely a possibility of getting visions. I've definitely done breathwork exercises that were very reminiscent of taking some kind of psychedelic and having those kind of experiences, like literally popping out of the body, having a whole experience, and then coming back in. Look, we're spiritual entities. This is just a avatar that you're inside of, or that seems that you're inside of, and you can leave the avatar and go elsewhere and travel. I know plenty of people who do. Matt's asking, is it important how much can you meditate? I think to each their own with that one. The recommended time is 22 minutes in the morning, 22 minutes at night. At nighttime, to meditate at 11:11. And that would be my recommendation. If that seems like a long time to you, start at 10 minutes and work your way up. I noticed for me that things get really quote unquote good. Not that there's a good meditation above 40 minutes in my personal experience. I know people who need a lot less though. So I think it's kind of personal. I would just kind of play with it and test it and see what feels good to you. Obviously, if you're not peaceful and you can't drop into meditation, 10 minutes might not be enough for you, and you need to go longer just to get yourself into that theta state. So it really might depend on your level of experience in meditation, or just kind of what you're looking for. Some people are just looking for peace of mind. Some people are looking for creativity. Some people are looking for inspiration. And you kind of have to feel in your own body. Good questions, guys. So I want to start wrapping up here soon. I'll have to take one more question if there is any other ones. And then we have a lot of really cool stuff we're working on that I can't wait to roll out to you guys. But if you haven't checked out our podcast, you can go to SatoriPrime.com /iTunes. Also, I highly recommend subscribing to our YouTube channel, youtube.com /SatoriPrime. We drop a lot of content on there. So it's like a really good rolling index of everything we're working on. Yeah, and just keep keep coming back, keep enjoying it. If you guys have any questions for us directly, we make ourselves pretty available. As a lot of you guys know, because a lot of you guys have reached out to us personally. Feel free to shoot us a message if you have a particular question. If you want to come work with us, obviously, in a more personal way. And we're here to help you guys in any way that we can to empower you to bring out your liberated self-expression, and to really just help you move towards the life of your dreams, so that you're experiencing that during your awakened state, that it's not relegated to just when your eyes are closed, but when your eyes are open as well. Okay, my friends, I love you so much. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back on here next Monday for another episode. Till then, bye everybody.